We're finally there, folks. We're going to drive the truck. We've checked out the outside, we've looked at the interior, we've even opened up the hood and we've taken a look at the engine and checked out all of that. Today, we take a drive. Join me in this edition of Bill's Guide, Buying and Selling Used Cars. Welcome to another edition of Bill's Guide, Buying and Selling Used Cars, where there's no script, just straight talk about buying and selling used cars. If you haven't done so yet, please take a moment to like and subscribe to the channel. I really would appreciate that. And if you haven't yet gone on to either Barnes & Noble online or Amazon online, please do so. Take a look. Check out my book, Bill's Guide, Buying and Selling Used Cars. Chock full of good information. If you buy it and you like it, please go ahead and leave me a positive review. And if not, forget I said anything. Now, let's go ahead and take a drive in this 1995 Ford F150 4x4. Join me. So we're going to start with starting the engine. We've already checked all of the instruments to make sure things work. We've checked the air conditioning, the turn signals, all of those kind of things. We're done with that. Keep in mind that when you are test driving a vehicle, it depends partially on what your end goal is. Are you wanting to test drive this truck in this case because you want to own this truck? This is for you. You're going to look at a couple of things differently from if you are buying the truck because you intend to sell it in short order. You want to own it for a week and a half, and then you want it to be gone because you're flipping it to make money. If you're buying it to own it, you really want to know, how do I feel in it? How's the legroom? How's the headroom? Is the seat comfortable for me? Do I like how things are laid out? But if you are buying it to sell, those things don't matter. And so you don't want to get too emotionally involved about those things. What you really care about is, does everything work? Are things broken? Does it shift properly? Does it brake properly? Does it start when you want it to start? Does it end when you want it to, when you turn it off? Those things matter. So in this case, if I'm buying it to sell, I really don't care how I feel in it, because the next person might be taller or shorter. It doesn't really matter to me. So having said that, first thing we're going to do is we're going to check the transmission. Put the foot in the brake. I want to hear how it, there, went into gear. I'm going to go to neutral. I'm going to go back to reverse. I heard it click in. No weird noises. Now I'm going to go into drive. Turn off the air. Back to neutral. Now I'm going down to second. This is a 4-speed with overdrive. There it goes, clicking in. All right, everything seems to work in that sense. Okay, now we're going to back out and we're going to go for a ride, and we're going to check the transmission, the brakes, we're going to check the suspension, we're going to check the four-wheel drive, and we're going to test the acceleration. So here we go. All right, we're out on the road. We're going to just see what the acceleration feels like. Shifts well. Very good. Now what I want to do is I want to downshift. I just felt it downshift. I'm going to go into a turn here. Upshift. Fine. No noises. Smooth. Sometimes if a transmission has bad belts inside, sometimes they will squeal. And if you've ever heard one of those, you know what it sounds like. There's this kind of a sound. And now I'm going to downshift again. Second. And now I'm going to downshift to first. There it is. No problem. I'm going through the gears manually, as well as going through with it in drive, because I really want to test. Does everything work properly? And so far, so good. It's also got overdrive, so I'm going to turn off the overdrive right now, which may or may not make a difference at this speed. Yep, I just felt it. I felt it kick down a little bit lower gear, and you can see there's a little light here that says off right now. I'm going to push it. Now it's back on. Okay. So transmission I'm feeling pretty good about at this point. I do also want to go in reverse here in a moment, which we will do when we come out of this turn. So now we're sitting here in drive. We're going to just pop it in reverse. Okay, clicked in just fine. Going to reverse. We're listening for any howling from the transmission or the rear end. Nothing. Sounds great. Sometimes reverse will surprise people. They won't realize that it's going to howl and make all kinds of noise. Now we're going to test the brakes and see how they do. They seem to work. So keep in mind that when you're taking a test drive, you are driving with the seller. The seller happens to own the vehicle you're driving, so you don't want to do anything that's going to upset him or her as you're driving down the road. One of the things I always want to do in connection with that is I want to take my hands off the wheel and hit the brakes. A lot of times sellers will be kind of freaked out by something like that, so let them know you're just going to test the steering and the brakes to see how well it stops. Okay, so what I do is I'll get on a nice straight path like this, get it going straight, and then I'll take my hands off and I'll hit the brakes to see, does it pull straight? It pulled a little bit to the right. There's a crown here in this road, but it felt really good. I felt nothing in my pedal, and it felt nice and straight. Steering wheel is nice and straight. So there's nothing wrong that I can tell from that with the brakes or with the steering. Something that I always try to do is I try to drive behind a building. Here we're driving behind Costco right now, because as we drive by, I want to listen and I want to hit the brakes and see if there's any noises coming that I can't hear because of road noise that's going to echo off the building. And it's just a great way of getting a sense for what you have. Hitting the brakes now. Quiet, nothing. Brakes. No sound. Perfect. The last test is to test the four-wheel drive unit, see how it works. With this truck, put the transmission in neutral. You go from 2 high to 4 high. 4x4 light comes on. You're listening for noises. In some four-wheel drive units, they will clunk. I mean, like clunk, and you'll hear them. I didn't hear anything just now. I'm going to go now from 4 high to 4 low and listen. Push down. Nothing. That's great. It's in low range, which tells you you're in 4 low. And let's see what it sounds like. Yeah, that is low. Brakes. Stops perfectly straight. Back in neutral. Push down. No clunks. I would say the transfer case works fine. Seems great. No weird winding, no clunks. That's really what you want. All right, we're back. Safe. Everything went well. One last thing to do, and that is to check under the hood once we've driven it, because now that the engine's hot, any leaks in oil and the valve covers, anything like that, you're going to see little bits of smoke and it burns off. We're just going to take a look right now, okay? So we're going to leave the engine running. We're going to pop the hood. Let's go see what happens. No smoke, nothing burning off. Everything looks good. Well, if you're still with me, thanks for joining me today on Bill's Guide, Buying and Selling Used Cars. We've now done 3 of 3 parts of the series on inspecting the vehicle, the outside, the inside and the engine compartment, and finally the test drive. I hope this helps. If you want more detail than I was able to cover in this series of videos, take a look at my book, Bill's Guide Buying and Selling Used Cars. There's a whole chapter on inspecting the vehicle. Again, it's available on Amazon. It's available on barnesandnoble.com. It's available in Spotify as an audiobook and also as an ebook. So with that then, again, if you haven't done so, please like and subscribe. Tell your friends.